Hey, good morning everybody, this is Steve. Welcome to the Little Wood Shop and our Sunday evening blog. Well, what we have for you today, and this is going to stretch over the next few weeks, is we have, hang on just 1 minute please, alright, there we go, commercial sign design tutorial. Okay, we told you in the midweek shout out that we had commissioned a couple big welcome signs. Welcome to our town up here, Groveton, Northumberland, in northern New Hampshire. We had commissioned a couple signs that we're going to do for our town folk. Well, we're going to discuss today, basically, I'm not going to go out on site, set up a video camera on the side of it, because this is on the side of the highway. I don't want to do anything that's going to cause a distraction with traffic and maybe cause an accident. So what we're going to do is we're going to upload the still imagery. I'm going to walk you through how to go out on site. We're basically trying to mimic what is there as close as possible. I'm going to take you, like I said, with the still images. We're going to show you how to get your measurements. Length and width is only part of it, as well as thickness. You're going to need to measure font size. You're going to try to match up your font size the best you can. You're going to look at the arch, because this is an arched sign with the welcome. Get your measurements on everything, and then we're going to walk you through the next phase of this, which will be the VCarve Pro software. Okay? We're going to go in, we're going to transfer this over. Now, unfortunately, guys, this job is not going to be for smaller equipment. I am really pushing the limits on this. Next weekend, with the Sunday evening blog, we're going to get into the milling and the actual fabrication, how we're going to put this whole thing together. Okay, this weekend is strictly design and layout as far as the tutorial goes. And then we'll get into probably the last segment of it. Week 3 is going to be how we're going to finish it, paint it, what we're going to use, what products we're going to use, and what we're going to seal it with, because my technique that I use up here, as far as the touch note real quick on finishing, it may not be applicable for you in Arizona or maybe in Florida with high humidity. What we suffer from the most up here in the upper Northeast is cold, frigid temperatures. I don't have temperatures in the hundreds. I've never seen it in the 8.5 years I've lived here, okay? So, different finishing techniques may apply where you're at, okay? And we'll discuss that a little bit more, but for now, Northumberland was incorporated in 1761, just prior to the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So this is a really old. There's a lot of history up here. And as far as the history goes, I'd really like to just take a quick second. In the midst of studying for the actual information on the blog on the history of my town, I stumbled across something that just kind of blew my mind. And to keep it quick, I'll take it directly from the script, okay? Now, this is information that I obtained from Wikipedia. I would give attribution to the specific author, except I don't know who the lady or gentleman is, okay? So, I did not write this. This is basically information that I've taken from Wikipedia. It's under a common fair use license, so we're just putting it in the blog strictly for educational purposes, okay? Please bear with me for 1 second. Alright, and like I said, this absolutely blew my mind. Real quick, okay, Northumberland, a town located in southwestern Coos County, New Hampshire, north of Lancaster, New Hampshire. North of the mountain ridge known as Cape Horn, near the Connecticut River, are the remains of Fort Wentworth, built by the New Hampshire militia in 1755 during the French and Indian War. Fort Wentworth, built by order of Benning Wentworth in 1755. The fort, built at the junction of the Upper Ammonoosuc and Connecticut River in Northumberland. This is right around the corner from my home. By soldiers of Colonel Joseph Blanchard's New Hampshire Provincial Regiment, including Robert Rogers. We'll give you a brief little bit about Major Rogers in just a second. In 1759, Rogers Rangers returned here to Northumberland for resupply after their raid on St. Francis, Quebec, but the fort had no garrison and no supplies. Rogers had to travel down the Connecticut River to the fort at number 4. This was for reinforcements and supplies. If any of you have ever watched, it's an old movie called Northwest Passage with Spencer Tracy. It's a pretty good depiction, but Major Robert Rogers is a very significant head in history, okay, and this is why. Rogers Rangers was initially a provincial company from the colony of New Hampshire attached to the British Army during the 7-Year War, also known as the French and Indian War. The unit was quickly adopted into the British Army as an independent ranger unit. It was trained by Major Rogers as a rapidly deployable light infantry force tasked mainly with reconnaissance as well as conducting special operations against distant targets. Their tactics were built on early colonial precedents and for the first time by Rogers, Major Rogers himself. The tactics proved to be remarkably effective, so much that the initial company was expanded into the Ranger Corps of more than a dozen companies. The Ranger Corps became the chief scouting arm of the British Crown Forces by the late 1750s. The British valued them highly for gathering intelligence. This man was for his time, he was an expert in reconnaissance, special operations. He was, for the 1700s, he was basically the special forces of his time. Now, I believe, don't quote me, I'm not a historian, I'm not even a librarian, but he was basically, I think, what inspired the teaching and the teachings inside of the United States Army Rangers program today, which is, I believe, located down in Fort Benning, Georgia, okay? To think that this man was physically here, I mean, anything you look up on the net about him, his name carries a lot of clout between his training, his principles, and what he did during the French and Indian Wars. Okay, I was overwhelmed because I've watched the movie a couple times, and again, it's Northwest Passage. I would say go check it out. You can rent it on Netflix or something. All right, but seriously. Big piece of history. I never even realized the man stepped foot in Northumberland, but a little trivia for you, okay? There is a lot of history up here, and I would welcome anybody to come and visit with your family. If you contemplate a vacation, don't kick New Hampshire under the rug, because just because you can maybe fit 5 of our states in, say, Texas, we may be small, but we have a lot of big things, okay? And the North Country in Coos County is one of them, all right? So, you guys hang on. We're going to take you down to the home office. We're going to pull up VCarve Pro, and we're going to basically do the layout. We'll include stills. We're going to mark it all up. And this is going to probably be a lengthy tutorial, but nonetheless, I think for these big commercial signs, at least at the capacity of what I have on this machine, you're going to get a lot out of it, okay? Everybody, to you and yours, enjoy the rest of your weekend, which is probably Sunday evening. I hope you're sitting back, getting a little rest and relaxation before the dreaded Monday, okay? Everyone take care. Thank you for your support as always. We appreciate you to no end. Alright guys, bye-bye.